I cannot be the only person in the world who genuinely hates nighttime. Like, it is such a dark, dismal, lonely place, isn't it? Like, it's crazy. Genuinely crazy. If you guys struggle with nighttime thoughts and like the loneliness and darkness of nighttime, I just want to let you know you're not alone. You're not the only one. You're not the only person who like lays in your bed or goes for a walk because the world and life are just too painful to take on. Do you know what? I'm an absolute firm believer that like that's why suicide rates are so much higher at night time. Because people just can't cope with it. Like, it's weird, you know, you could spend the entire day with the love of your life. And then, or your best friend, or your family, or people that mean a lot to you. But then, it gets to night time, and your partner, the love of your life, your friend, your family, or whoever, they could go home. They can go home and leave you. And then you're left on your own. And it's paralysing. Because, like, you go from being, like, in a state of euphoria, happy and content, to then just feeling empty and shit. And it's no wonder that, like, people really get stuck in a rut at that point in their life. No wonder that nighttime thoughts really can actually, like, destroy a person. Like, am I the only person who thinks like that? Am I the only person that, like, when it gets to night time, just sits there and goes, why? Why do we bother? Like, it's proper shit. When you're that, like, when you've had the best day of your life and then you find out you're all by yourself and you're on your own, it's crap. Genuinely shit. Like, nighttime thoughts hurt, folks. Massively. I mean, ordinarily by now, like, for example, we'd have a moderator in the comments, or some of our regular subscribers would just jump in. But then you look at your statistics and you've been like, looking at your comments and there's just nothing. It hurts, guys. And it's even worse if you're like me and you're a nocturnal night owl. Jasmine Jenkins, hello to you. Because if you're a night owl and like you'd rather be awake at night time than during the daytime, well, that's how your body clock works. Nighttime thoughts hurt. We're discussing how like nighttime thoughts can just destroy a person. That's why we're here. Because like I was saying, you can spend the whole day with like the love of your life, your partner, your husband, your girlfriend, whatever, your best mate, your family, etc., and have the best day of your life. But then, when it all goes quiet, when it all goes dark, those dark thoughts just take over. Kendall Croy, hello to you. Welcome to the channel. By the way, folks, if you are brand new, please do hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and get us through. Hi, I'm the Wicked Wiener. Nice to meet you. Tricks photos. Andrew, hello to you. How many of you have nighttime thoughts that literally just like play on your mind all night to the point you literally cannot switch off? Like, I can't be the only person who sits here thinking like, why? Like, for example, a prime example, folks. Yeah, a massive nighttime thought. Like, we expect youngsters or our children, our offspring, to like respect us. Yeah, as they get older and everything else. But why should they? When you think, yeah, we spend most of their childhood like lying to them. We tell them about the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. We tell them about Father Christmas. We tell them all these fabrication things, right, to fit in with society. And then when they get to a certain age, we tell them and they go, oh yeah, by the way, guess what? Like, the Easter Bunny's not real. Father Christmas isn't real. Tooth Fairy's not real. Like, we're not your parents. You're suddenly like, whoa, hang on a second, what? The last one, by the way, was like a personal thing, yeah? Being told at 9 years old your mum and dad actually aren't yours. Like, they're not biologically yours. And then they wonder why we have a screwed up, like, population. Why kids don't respect adults and very rarely believe a word they say. Stop lying. It's that simple. Like, why do we lie? Why? Why do we tell everyone about the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and all this kind of malarkey? Why can't, what is so wrong with just turning around and saying to them, yeah, that's me and your mum that do that, or me and your dad that do that? Why do we leave? Like, why? Yeah, but it doesn't make it right, does it? Because then they go through their life just thinking, well, actually, if my parents can lie to me, then surely I can lie to other people. Like, it doesn't seem right, does it really? Like, you turn around and tell kids, don't speak to strangers, but it's okay to go and talk to Santa once a year. They don't know who he is. Why is our life such a hypocrisy? Like, these are the sort of nighttime thoughts that go through my head so often. Literally. Because life literally is the biggest hypocrisy going. You know? Like, you can spend your life being the best person you possibly can be, but there'll always be someone to shit on your parade. There'll be somebody who will want to do everything they can to make you fail. Every time. I'm not being funny. Normally there's a co-P, they're a co-presenter on this very channel, right? Me and him were literally out the other night trying to find like new venues and stuff to film and stuff for our other shows. And we literally got accused of doing a burglary. And we were like, are you joking? Like, we were literally on a live stream at the time doing our Monday Fun Day, right? We're like, we've been live for the last 2.5 hours. You're more than welcome to sift through and see. We didn't go anywhere near no shop. Just because the police were told, oh, it's two guys in a white car. Well, how vague can you be? And you sit there thinking, white's a very popular colour for a car. It's quite rare to see like one person on their own. It happens, obviously, at night time, but two people, white car, suddenly, well, where were you? I just told you, man, we've been on a live stream. Man. Literally, like, he literally had to go on his phone and fast forward through everything to prove we weren't in this in this place, which is mad. But we live in a hypocrisy. We live in a fucked up world, ladies and gents. And I think, genuinely, nighttime thoughts can honestly break a person. Like, so many times I just wish I could just be the same as my co-presenter, get in bed and just be asleep within like 0.3 minutes, yeah, or 0.3 seconds. It takes me hours, to the point I have to literally listen to the most boring video I can find on YouTube just to fall asleep. But please tell me I'm not the only one. I can't be the only person who goes through that shit. I'm hoping some of you guys go through the same thing, where literally, like, you're kept awake at night with just all these weird thoughts mulling over in your head. Or where there's a hypocrisy or something that you were told as a child or something you heard throughout the day that just doesn't sit right with you. Like, I never told my kid about the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy. Tooth fell out, gave him a quid, simple. Easter Bunny, no. What, you know, weirdly he was scared of rabbits anyway. But like, why would I then go around and say, oh yeah, there's this bunny that comes around and gives you chocolate? Like, what? Crazy. But the weird thing is, since doing YouTube, I can understand why people struggle so much with nighttime thoughts and why they literally just get spun into the depths of depression. Because they're real. They hurt. And some of them become so deep grained in like someone's personality, you don't actually think about anything else for days. Like, one of the weirdest ones I have at the moment is like, realistically, you see like a globe, for example, sat on a desk, yeah? And it's like, realistically, what actually are we attached to? Because, probably sounds stupid, but I struggle to believe that we are just like this ball spinning through a dark space, right? With nothing actually holding on to us. Like, the weird thing is that obviously, yeah, we're close to the sun because it comes up and it goes down every day. What the hell actually really, like, what actually does hold us in place? Because it's weird. And it just confirms, like, everyone that goes, oh yeah, the world's flat. Have a word with yourself, come on. No, it's obviously not, is it? Because how would the sun hold a flat disc in a certain position all the time? It's got to be round. But what really does keep us from spinning off into other planets and stuff? Like, my nighttime thoughts, guys, they are so fucked up, it's unreal. But they literally keep me awake. It's 2:30 in the morning right now here in the UK. And like, I've tried to sleep. I've gone for a 40 to 50 mile drive and I still can't sleep. I then spent 3 hours with your, like, the Cope Centre on this channel and I still can't sleep. Not that he's boring, but you know what I mean? Because all these things just spin around my head. And I want to know what like nighttime thoughts you guys have, because I can't be the only person who sits there thinking about stuff all the time. And like, maybe we can discuss them together. So if you've got anything that really does bug around your head at like stupid million miles an hour at night time, whack them in the comments and we'll happily talk about them. And again, if you are brand new to the channel, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and try and encourage the channel a little bit higher. Because of course, the more you double tap that screen, the more YouTube think we're popular. Obviously we're not, but there we go. But genuinely, nighttime thoughts have got to be a real thing. And they have to be. Because like, I reckon everyone gets them. I think the only person who doesn't, realistically, is my co-presenter for this channel. Because, like I said, he can go to bed or even just be like on a trip somewhere. He's asleep within 5 minutes. I'm like, bro, I can't even sleep in a car. I struggle to sleep on a plane, right? The last time I slept on a plane, I hadn't slept all night. I had about 45 minutes in the airport prior to boarding, and then a 4-hour flight to Turkey. So yeah, of course I slept on that motherfucker. But only because the engines were just like, it was a familiar place for me, because at the time I was still working for an airline. You have to repeat to yourself these words: I control my thoughts when they are on and when they are off. I am in control. You are the master of your mind. Never give it to anyone. Never give it or anyone control over you. I like that. Ross Cole, that is really quite deep. I appreciate you for sharing that. Honestly. But it's not even so much that my thoughts can like really overtake my body. It's just like they keep me awake. Because it's just the most randomest shit. Like, why is a tomato called a tomato? Why did we, why did the first who was the first person who looked at an egg and thought, well, that might taste nice if I crack it in a frying pan? All these, like, those sort of random shit. Or the first person who looked at a sheep and thought, no, not a sheep, a cow, and was like, oh, maybe their milk tastes nice. Like, what made them think about that in the first? I mean, granted, milk does taste good. Don't get me wrong, unless you're lactose intolerant or vegan or whatever, in which case, obviously, you're not going to touch it. But literally, what went through that person's head to make him think, I might like that, or even to kill that poor animal and then eat it? Like, who was actually the first person to walk up, like, see a chicken walking around and go, I bet that tastes lovely? And then who was the first person, after we've been eating chicken on its own for however long, who was the first person to then go, oh, that would be nice in a bit of batter or a bit of breadcrumbs? Like, and these are the sort of things that go around my head. You know, legitimately, who was the first person to put ham and pineapple together on a pizza? I mean, don't get me wrong, like, anyone on the crew on this channel loves ham and pineapple pizza. That's myself, your co-presenter, our sound engineer, cameraman. Like, for some reason, we all just seem to agree that it's a decent stuff. But why? Do you know what, my friend? Right now, a lot of things good. We've got phenomenal weather right here in the UK. Everything's amazing, other than the fact that nighttime thoughts just keep me awake. As in, who was the first person to, like, see a cow and go, that's a nice looking cow. I can milk it for its milk, but if I kill it, it might taste nice. Who was the first person to think of that sort of thing? Like, don't get wrong, I know we've been killing animals and eating them for, like, as far back as I can remember. Like, as far back as time began. But what was going through that first person's head? Because people around him who've been, like, eating other stuff, like, must have thought he was an absolutely raving lunatic. You know, goes out foraging for, like, berries and whatever else that they might be eating, and then suddenly comes back with this bloody great cow. And not one that they can milk or, like, drink or anything. The bloody thing's dead, probably slams it on the flipping table and goes, here you are, Brenda, can you cook this for me? She must have thought he was a raving lunatic. Like, the first person ever to bring home a dead cow and expect someone to cut it up and eat it. And then how did they work out what they could and couldn't eat? Because if they had something they weren't supposed to eat and it killed them, well, then how would the next person know to go and eat it? They thought about it because of desperation. McDonald's wasn't on every corner, so they had to think about how to survive. I agree with you. We should definitely not eat ice cream in winter. Not to eat ice cream in winters is driving the car fast can cause accidents. How can you link ice cream in winter and driving fast? I mean, but again, like, I love what Roz said. There wasn't a McDonald's, but even then, right? When did McDonald's become this, like, absolute run of the mill thing? Because, like, I was brought up in the 90s, yeah. No, I get you, man. That's cool. I was brought up in the 90s, right? McDonald's or the Wimpy or Happy Eater and all that sort of thing, like, they were a treat back when I was a kid. Whether it's because I was deprived because my parents were fuckers, I don't know, right? But genuinely, I think I was 12 before I had my first ever McDonald's breakfast. And that was my uncle that took me for that, because my parents would go, oh no, can't go McDonald's, it's too expensive. A Burger King was out the bloody question. Brother, I like your behaviour and nature. You're humble. I appreciate you, my friend. And if you like it, please do feel free to subscribe to the channel and you can watch it again. Weirdly enough, we actually have got a live stream scheduled for Wednesday, or tonight, Wednesday night. It's called the Grind. And on that show, we can discuss anything and everything. And tonight, we will be discussing the whole scandal, which I can now discuss completely openly and honestly, regarding a couple of years ago with Mr. Philip Schofield and ITV. Now that my contract has officially ended with them and I'm no longer under the scope of a non-disclosure agreement, we can go into as much detail about the whole situation between Philip Schofield and ITV as anyone wants to ask questions about. So tonight at 10 p.m, ladies and gents, across the UK and indeed the world, on this very platform, The Grind, episode 4 will be live. Bro, do you know about the conflict between India and Pakistan? When it comes to like all the like political stuff, not particularly, my friend, no. Only the sort of thing we get to hear about on the news. But more than anything, it's mainly we hear about the Israeli and Pakistani conflict right now. We don't hear so much about the Indian and Pakistani one. But I'm prepared to do some research and potentially do a live stream special about that probably next week. But yeah, like, do you know what? I completely agree with you, you know. I've been saying for a while that World War Three is going to start. But I also had an interesting thing on Instagram the other day, whereby someone was talking about like many years ago, these people made all these predictions, etc., about how the world's going to like what's going to happen on the world, and then weirdly out of nowhere, literally, like they predicted Pope Francis, but then there's no more popes after him, which apparently signifies the end of the world. If that's the truth, and we've just lost the last ever pope, and we're in the final days of this life, I think World War Three could be inevitable. And going by the British government right now, it wouldn't surprise me if they were the ones to instigate it. India and Pakistan have issues over land control. I know, shocking, right? Oh God, it sounds like the whole bloody Putin bullshit all over again. Like, it's like that. What the fuck possessed bloody Vladimir Putin to go and invade Ukraine just because, what, he wants it back? There's other ways of doing it. You don't have to go and invade and kill innocent men, women and children just because you want a bit of land back. Like, that would be like me buying a nice big house somewhere with loads of land and all this sort of malarkey, yeah? And then giving someone a little bit of land at the bottom of the garden or whatever. And then 20 years down the line, turn around and saying to him, wait, I want that land back or I'm going to bomb you. Like, well, sorry, what? It's not how life works. Like, listen, I know you've lived here for 20 years, but I want that bit of land back now. Can I buy it back from you? Or can we reach an agreement? You know what I mean? Um, the Pakistanis, the traitors, entered Kashmir near India-Pakistan border, and they killed a lot of innocent people, tourists, and they just asked the people's religion, and they targeted Hindus. See, I see that as, I know it's not racist, but I just see that as a form of racism. Like, this is the one thing that a lot of people, especially in my life, can't get their head around, yeah? I'm not talking about family, but like people that I associate with. They don't understand how I can be friends with or date people from any religion, background or whatever. But the reason is as follows, right? I don't care if you're black, white, orange, green, indigo, or whatever, right? I don't care what colour you are. You treat me decently, with respect and dignity, humility, etc., etc. I don't care what you are. You treat me with the way that I want to be treated, I'll treat you exactly the same way. Like, and if I want to date you and you're black, if we've got that connection, if we've got that bond, and if you like, if you can make me laugh, then I'm anyone's. In all fairness, I don't care. In the same way, like my friends and all this sort of stuff. Like, I've got friends who are trans, I've got friends who are pansexual, I've got friends who are bisexual, friends who are gay, lesbian, or whatever, and I've got friends that are straight. Do you know why? I couldn't give a flying fuck what happens behind closed doors. What they choose to do in their bedroom with their partner, whether they be male, female, or whatever, doesn't bother me. As long as it's legal and they're not a nonce, why do I care? Or they're not shagging a goat. Obviously, that'd be a bit weird. But realistically, why does it matter? Why does it matter if there's two men behind that door, two women behind that door, or two men and a woman? What? Literally, why does it matter? Why does it matter if it's a white man with a black man, or a white girl with a black girl? But in the same breath, ladies and gents, why is it in this world, our nature? Why is it okay for lesbians to walk down the street and not really get that much hate or that much issue, that much problem? But two men apparently is the most disgusting, worst thing in existence. Like, how can here's a nighttime thought for you guys, yeah? How can homophobia be a thing in 2025? Like, literally, how can it be a thing? Like, I don't go home, get to my front door, shit myself and scream and go, shit, I'm scared of my house, or I'm scared of my home. I'm not homophobic. I don't love my house. I absolutely fucking hate the place, but I'm not scared of it. How can you be, like, to be homophobic? A phobia is a fear, right? It's an actual fear. How can you be scared of people like that? How someone that dates someone of the same sex is retarded? Absolutely ridiculous. The Indian Prime Minister took a very good step. He temporarily stopped the water flowing from India to Pakistan and ordered every Muslim in India that were tourists, not residents, to go back to Pakistan. But again, like, I mean, fair play for him for doing that, but he shouldn't have to. Like, I mean, that's a bloody good stance to take, I'm not going to lie. I mean, fucking fair play to him. But at the end of the day, also, like, if if the Pakistani person's being an absolute prick, why should he be getting water? Fuck him. No. Like, this is what annoys me, right? I don't know where you guys are from. I don't know if you're from the UK. I don't know if you're from elsewhere around the world or whatever, right? But I'm pretty sure most of you would have heard about the fact that, like, the UK had Brexit, yeah? So we voted to leave the EU. Now, back in the day, like, obviously, every household got all this bullshit paperwork come through, blah, 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 right? Now, ordinarily, we don't discuss politics on this channel, but we're going to do it today. I don't give a shit, right? But genuinely, all these paperwork's coming through saying how the NHS is going to get more money, but more money into education, blah, 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 blah. Like, the country is going to improve, etc., etc., etc. Prices were going to come down and all this malarkey. And I'm like, do you know what? The NHS is going to get more money. Fucking pucker. Brilliant. Let's go for it, right? But then they started playing the racism card. Oh, we're going to close the borders, we're going to chuck out all the immigrants, etc., etc., regardless of how long they've been in this country. And it was at that point, I'm like, I'm not voting for this Brexit malarkey. Like, fuck. Do you know why? Because I love having Turkish friends. I love having friends from Turkey, from Kazakhstan, from Romania, from Bulgaria, from Croatia, from France, from Spain. everywhere in this country. Because do you know what? Multicultural societies is the way forward, folks. And what really does upset me and what really fucks me off is that racism isn't, it's not ingrained in our brains, folks. Yeah? People are not born racist. It's learned and taught behaviour, right? My child, at the age of 4, best friends with a black kid, right? His name was Samuel, yeah? And they were best mates, right? Up until the point of them going to, like, upper primary, yeah? And as soon as they got into upper primary, my lad suddenly realised that, like, his friend wasn't cool. His friend wasn't the popular kid. And he came home to me and goes, Daddy, my friends don't like Samuel. I was like, why is that, mate? He goes, because he's black. I'm like, but you still like him, don't you? He goes, yeah, he's my best friend. He goes, but people at school don't like him anymore because they're older and they're not like. There's one child in his class, right? One child in his class. And he came home and told me that because this person's mum had separated from the father and got with a new partner, that person was no longer allowed to play with that kid because the mum's new partner was racist and didn't like black people. And my kid came home crying. He goes, why is everyone nasty to him? I was like, because they're racist, man. I had to explain it to like a 7-year-old what racism was. Even The Simpsons predicted till 2027 Pakistan will be again submerged in India and won't be seen as Pakistan. It will be part of India again. I don't know if it's going to happen. Let's hope to God it doesn't, because let's face it, like, there's been enough wars and stuff over territories that are absolutely horrendous. But Pakistan has no high-tech equipment to fight. They don't even have basic carriers to fight. And yeah, dude, I hate the things about traitors. Is that the things I hate about traitors is the things they always attack on the back. This is the thing. Like, this world would be so much better if we weren't racist, we weren't anti-religions, and actually, like, everyone just got on. How hard is it in this day and age to get on with people? To be friendly to people? Like I said earlier on, ladies and gents, right? I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, orange, green, whatever, right? I could have someone walk up to me right now from Planet Zog and have a conversation with me, right? If they treated me with respect and was like, hello, do you want to have a cigarette with me? I'll be like, do you know what? Because you are so nicely, fuck it, I'll have a fag with you, right? And I'll probably grab out my vape and have a vape with him, right? Because I don't care, right? And I'd love to learn about the places they've come from, the things that they've seen and how they've got here, right? Because it's interesting, it's different, it's exciting, it's learning about somewhere different, right? I'm not being funny. Last year, I know it's going to sound really odd now, right? Last year, yeah, I had to flee this country, and I mean flee this country for my own safety, because myself and the person who weirdly is now the co-presenter of this channel had a major fallout, right? To the point whereby couldn't even look at each other in the street without practically lunging for each other. Like, we hated each other. Actually, no, that's not true. He hated me and I was just retaliating his behaviour, right? So I left the country and just literally fucked off to Turkey for the first time in my life. I'd never been there before. Like, I've travelled solo before, don't get me wrong. I've gone to many countries around the world solo. But first I've been to Turkey. I knew I had a hotel booked and I knew I had a flight. I had no idea how I was going to get from the airport to the hotel. Didn't know where the hell it was or anything. But just left the country. Originally with no actual plan to come back to the UK. So I just left, went out to Turkey, and you know what? Met some phenomenal people, both in the hotel, around the resort, and around the local area. And they're such an amazing people, incredibly friendly, exactly like they are over here. And I wish more people did it. I wish more people just did. Okay, that was a very spur of the moment thing. I literally, like, got to the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was flying out by like 9:30, and literally had enough time just to like pack a suitcase, fuck off, and go. And it was a really random thing to do. But I'd tell you something, it repaired the relationship between me and him. Because as soon as I got back to the UK, and his brother told him that I was back, first thing he done was come straight to my location. And was like, I think, he messaged me and goes, I think we need to talk. And I'm like, I've got nothing to say to you. He's like, no, genuinely, I think we need to talk. And I wasn't going to speak to him until his brother was like, he's not going to leave from outside this pub where his brother's working. He ain't going to leave here until you go out there and speak to him. I'm like, mate, he held a knife to my throat before I left the country. You really expect me to walk out there now and talk to him? I was like, you're mad. He's like, I'll come out with you, and I'll make him promise and show you he's got nothing on him, and then you guys talk. What do you think about the Sikh religion, the people with turbans? Now, I've heard that Sikhism is apparently the most peaceful and gentle religion going. I don't know how true that is, but it's what I've heard. So, in all honesty, listen, like I said, I've got no issue with I don't care what someone's religion is. I don't care if they're Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, Jewish, Catholic, or whatever. I don't care, because it's all about how people treat you, right? And just because one person from a certain religion treats you a certain way doesn't mean they're all bad. Yeah. Look at when we had all these like suicide bombers and stuff here in the UK, right? Literally, gangs of people were attacking innocent Muslims who'd never associated with ISIS, who had no intention of going around blowing things up. But there was that much hatred, they just went for it. The thing that pisses me off is the Hindus now asking Sikh people for justice. When there was crisis on Sikhs, no one helped them, but now Sikhs are ready to fight for them. And this is the thing, and this is what really annoys me. People can hate on another person, on another religion, on another group of people, which one, don't deserve it, but then when other people are in crisis or are in trouble, suddenly they expect to be helped. Why? Where were you to help people? Like, I'm a huge believer in humanitarianism, right? Completely agree that slavery is wrong. People go, slavery's been abolished for years. No, it hasn't. Slavery very much still happens to this very day in certain countries. You look at human trafficking, that's a massive thing. Where's the humanitarianism in that? This is the point, because they're a humble, decent people. And if they follow their religion properly, guess what? They will probably be the nicest people you're ever likely to meet in your life. And it's the same for all of us, you know? Like, as I say, me and my friend, we made up. We now have the best friendship. To a lot of people, they say we're more than friends. And you know what? We probably are. One day it could even be something different. But you know something? Yeah, I love him as a friend. And I believe it's the same for him too. At the end of the day, We should all just love one another. Yeah, because every single religion says the same thing. Treat others as you want to be treated. Show other people respect. Because how the hell can you expect anyone to respect you if you're not going to go around respecting other people? How can you expect anyone to show you like decency if you're not prepared to do it yourself? This is the point. And that goes to show again, humanitarianism, they're prepared to stand up and fight for other people, even though they were basically shat on way back in, like, as you say, way back in the ancient days. Do you know what? We can all learn so much from each other if we just took the time to talk and learn about each other's religions, backgrounds, cultures, etc., etc. And if we'd done that, if we actually bothered to look at what we're doing to people, if we bothered to actually take a step back and stop being so up ourselves, stop being so fucking materialistic, stop being so money orientated and wanting, doing everything we can because we think we're so high and fucking mighty. If we actually took a step back and actually spent just half an hour every day talking to someone we don't know from a different religion, from a different country or somewhere different, asked about their culture, learn something new about that person, even if it's like going to a Polish person, tell me about your country. Poland, by the way, is a beautiful country. I've been out there myself, right? If we did that every day, just spoke to someone different, or even just spoke to your neighbour about something that they may, I don't know, that may have happened like 40 years ago, like, genuinely, we would be in such a much better place. Brother, I'm requesting you please stop vaping. Break that vape. Think about your family, dude. I ain't got no family, my man. It's literally like, yeah, whatever. And to be fair, these vapes are actually pretty safe. So it's not an issue. And I won't break it because it cost me £15 and was paid for by our co-presenter. I did have, but we don't anymore. So yeah, that's another story for another time. But yeah, so genuinely, we need to be focusing a lot more on, mate, you have no reason to apologize. At the end of the day, like, you didn't know, so it's not an issue. And it was a long time ago. I lost one in 2007, one in 2009. But yeah, genuinely, all we need to do is focus on other people. We need to stop putting ourselves first in this life. We need to stop doing everything under our own agenda. Just take a step back. Honestly, because, and plus, that is healthier than that. But genuinely, as a society nowadays, it's not uncommon to walk down the street and potentially pass Chinese, Japanese, Australian, Polish, whatever, right? And this is what actually fucks me off, guys, yeah? Especially here in the UK. I don't know what it's like so much in living in other countries, because the only countries I've ever lived in have been the UK and Australia, right? So let's take the Australians, for example. If you are a British person walking down an Australian street, right, and they come and ask you something, and you start talking to them, especially if you're a London boy like me, right, you go and say, oh, yeah, I'm from London, right? Or you start talking to them, they're like, oh, you're right there, mate, you're from London. And I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong, right? Straight away, they'll strike a conversation with you. They're like, how long have you been in the country? And you tell them how long you're staying for. Probably about a year. They love it. Even though the basis and the formality of the actual Australians, not the Aborigines, but the actual Australian race as a people, started right here from the UK, and we shipped our convicts out to Australia or New South Wales as it was called back then, right? Way back in the 1800s, we just shipped them all out there. Genuinely, right? We go out there now, yeah, they might go, you're right there, you're a dirty little pom, prisoner of Mother England, obviously, right? No worries, my friend. I appreciate you very much. I really do hope you subscribe to the channel. We look forward to having you back on the channel later on for The Grind live at 9 PM UK time. I appreciate your comments today, my friend, and it's been a pleasure talking to you. But the Australians love us, folks. Absolutely love us. Even here in the UK, if we hear an Australian or someone from New Zealand or even from South Africa, we love them. But this is what I don't get. This is... You take care, my friend. I look forward to speaking to you again soon. So, the Oz... Okay, mate. I don't care where you're from. You've been a decent guy, and I really appreciate having you on the channel, and I cannot wait to be talking to you again soon. So, have a great one. Take it easy, and look forward to having a chat with you again, my friend. Yeah, so the English have got no issues with people from South Africa. No issues with the Americans. I'll get onto that on a later date. And no issues with Australians. Because we're white. Well, they're white. Yeah? A Ugandan person or a Nigerian walks down the street, they literally get snowed at in some places. And that really fucking annoys me. So why are you okay with a South African, but you're not alright with a Nigerian? They're from the same continent. The difference is one's white, one's black. Like, when was that racism really allowed? Yeah? Like, I love, absolutely love having a multicultural society. Because, you know, for example, if you walk into I'm going to say this right now, an Indian restaurant, you know the food's authentic. You know the service you're going to receive, because literally in an Indian or even a Chinese restaurant, they cannot do enough for you. Like, literally bend over backwards for you. You walk into a fucking English restaurant, you go, all right, yeah, go sit over there. Our customer service is shocking. Absolute pig shit. So why don't we take a leaf out of other cultures and go, they do it right, they look after their punters, why can't we do that? Because they do it here for us, look after us, and treat us with dignity and respect. Why don't we give the same back to other people? Since when did it become uncool to be kind? Yeah? That's what bugs me. In this day and age, it genuinely feels like it's uncool to be kind and nice to people. And it fucking annoys me. Like, whether it's because I was bullied as a kid or what, I don't know. But I can't stand it. Because it just winds me up. It doesn't seem right. In any way, shape or form. You know, I love the fact that, like, we can literally go anywhere in this country and you're guaranteed at some point in your life or some point in your day to meet someone from somewhere else in the world. Yeah? Even in this godforsaken shit heap of a town that I live in, right? The guy that runs the local premier shop is a Sikh, wears a turban. Yeah? Loveliest man you can meet. Very quiet, but he's a lovely guy. The people that run my local corner shop are Kurdish, Turkish and Polish, right? But again, walking there every morning for a packet of like my fags and all this sort of shit. It's like, hi guys, like, hello, and they're really happy to see you. And they're like, just my usual, please. And they remember, from the amount of people they see every day, Me or my co-presenter, stroke partner in crime, we go in there all the time, and they know what we want straight away. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a lovely moment. Because you have a conversation, can speak to them about their family and all this sort of malarkey. And they'll tell you. Because they're not ashamed of anything. They've got nothing to like hide behind. And because they're decent people. And they appreciate the fact you take the time out of your day. And that's the difference, guys. This is why I keep saying, as a nation, and I'm not just talking about the UK now, but as a nation, we need to stop being so materialistic. We need to stop being so focused on having the best of everything, right? If we put as much effort into actually getting on with people around the world and actually spending time getting to know other people and actually living in harmony, one, we'd have less wars, two, we'd all live in so much more harmony, and three, the world would be a much fucking better place to be. Genuinely. And I strongly believe that, because in all honesty, I don't understand why we are allowed to carry on being, especially in this country, just being these racist bigots who believe that we're better than anybody else. We're not. The Americans are the same. What scares me about the American education system is they don't seem to learn about any other history about anywhere else in the world other than their own. The irony being, most of their history is only 400 years old. Like, what did they think happened in their country, like, before all that happened? Like, legitimately. You know? They try and tell you they're the most cultured people, like, multicultural people in the world. Really? No, you're not. You still had slavery till 1976. What's the matter with you people? We abolished that in the 1800s. You know? Or like you ask an American a basic geography question, they don't have a clue. You're like, the fuck is wrong with you? And, mate, honestly, I just get so wound up with everything. Because I'm a firm believer, religion and racism are the main reasons why we have so many wars and hatred in this world. Genuinely. You know, but you come back to nighttime thoughts and all this sort of stuff, and like the Bible turns around and tells you apparently that like, money's the root of all evil. If that's the case, why does the church keep asking for it to repair its roof? Like, come on, there's got to be other ways of doing it. You know what I'm saying? Or stop making your roof out of lead and people are going to nick it and go and cash it in down the bloody junkyard so they can get their next fucking ounce of crack. You know what I'm saying? There's so many other things we can be doing in this world where we're not hating, we're not bullying, and we're not belittling everyone just because we think it's funny and it's a good thing to do. What the fuck is wrong with us as a nation? It's an absolute fucking joke. And I hate it. I absolutely hate the fact that we're a racist nation. And we know we're a racist nation because when we go to other countries, we make no effort at all. And we have this horrible, horrible stigma that we're basically a bunch of pricks. Do you know what? The rest of the world are not wrong. Genuinely. Things need to change. Ladies and gents, this has been your random nighttime thought special here on Linden TV. If you have been brand new tonight and you've enjoyed what you've heard, or something struck a chord with you and you want to come back for more specials, you want to come back for some more random stuff on this channel, please smash the like button, hit subscribe, and make sure you check out The Grind tonight at 9 PM. It is a Philip Schofield and ITV Scandal special tonight. I'm no longer subject to an NDA, so I'll be spilling a lot of beans about everything that happened behind the scenes on at ITV and also with Philip Schofield, for when I was a contractor with them way back in 2023 and before that. So if you want to know more about what really happened now that my NDA has expired, all that and more will be given to you guys very freely on this channel from 9:30 this evening. But from me to all of you, we are now going to say good night. and we'll see you at 9:30 right here on Linden TV. Miss it? Miss out.